It's our first sweatshirt morning in a really long time. We've had record heat here this summer, but between changing weather and the Olympics being over, I'm very sad. I got to thinking about transitions a lot this morning, and had a lot of patients lately where we've got transitions coming up, looking at moving out of the country, looking at going back to work after maternity leave. We go back to school here, I think 2 weeks. I know some people are going back or have already started to go back, kind of just checking out of summer mode, that kind of thing. And it's kind of reminds me of like New Year's resolutions where we're like, I'm going to do this. And we have all these amazing, fantastic ideas, but if you don't actually plan ahead on that stuff, it doesn't work. So a session I always do with my new moms while they are on maternity leave is we talk about getting ready for going back to work, because we get settled into that season. You get into, your mommy and me classes, you get into your schedule, things are working well, everybody's sleeping, but you do have to transition to childcare and going back to work and all the logistics that come with pumping and, remembering your lunch, just little stuff. And we need to plan ahead for that. So when that first day comes, you are starting your workouts on that first day. We're not waiting, to be like, oh, well, I'll get back to work. And of course, everybody's going to pile everything on you. And then 2 months later, you still haven't started back to your workout. So it's all about being proactive instead of reactive, because you have to literally, as a mom, I think, just make the assumption that everybody's going to try and throw a grenade in your day. And they don't necessarily have to be bad grenades. They can be good grenades. But if you go in it proactively and think about, okay, well, I have childcare during this period of time, maybe I can get my workout in that period of time too, or something along those lines. It's the same deal. And I tell moms this too. I'm like, if you figure this out early, when your kids are little, I'm like, this is exactly what I'm doing now. So we've got 1 more week of camp, then we're going to go on vacation, and then school starts. And our schedule's different because I have 2 kids in the same school this year, yay, but it's early. We've got different sports schedule, just a whole bunch of different things. Hey. And so I have to start planning ahead what days of the week I'm on chauffeur duty, when I have to go get people, all appointments, all that kind of stuff. Like, again, if you kind of figure this stuff out early, then when it's here, then, you can always change it. That's my thing too. I'm like, at least get something on paper, and then, you can always change it if it comes up. Like, I remember when my daughter was born, so she was our second. I had everything set up, changing table, everything, the bassinet, everything the way I thought I had remembered it. And then literally the second I brought her home, I'm like, nope, that's not at all how I had it. And then I remembered how to do it. But the idea is you go in with a plan and then can kind of go from there. So with the cool weather, enjoying it this morning, sweatshirt weather, whether you're back to school, whether you're going back to work, like, if you see the transition coming, you can start to kind of prepare for it and assume that people are, again, it's not a bad thing, it just is. Kids are going to get sick, work's going to pile up, things happen. If you just assume the grenade's going to get thrown at you, if you can kind of get your stuff in and planned ahead of time, then you're much more likely to get your stuff done. Somebody's having a good time this morning early. But yeah, so tell me kind of how that's worked well for you, how it's not worked well, anything that you've done to kind of set yourself up for these transition times, or what some of those transition times have been for you. Because again, like, you can have the best plan to get back to work, workouts postpartum, or even like start a new program, start weightlifting in menopause. There's a lot of different things that this can be, but If you don't have that plan,